What's up?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bearded Respect number 84. Ooh. And I'm Mr. Bruce City Bearded Scott. We have here and Mike down here, and we'll be right back in a minute. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bearded Respect. Jason, you want to say hi to some of these fine people?
Absolutely. We got E-Rock was in first.
What's up, E-Rock?
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
JP. Hey, JP.
What's up, JP?
Hello.
Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hello.
Mike Vina, what's up, man?
Hey, Mal.
What's up, Mel?
Hello, neighbor.
Popping in.
Russ. Hey, Russ.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Russ.
PTB. Hey, Phil.
What's up, Phil?
Hey, Dagan.
Hello there.
What's up, Dagan?
Jason.
Excellent.
What's up, Jason? Thanks for coming in.
Hey, Chris.
Hello.
What's up, Chris?
Donald. Hey, Donald.
Donald Long, what's up, man?
Hey, Vato.
Vato.
Oh, man.
Hey, Diablo. Hey, David.
Diablo, what's up, man?
Hello.
There he is. Hey, Bearded Chief.
What's up, Chief?
Hello.
Hey, Mike.
It's me.
Oh, okay.
That you?
I also said it on Twitch and Rumble, but I guess those don't come up.
Hello, murderer.
They don't show on our screen. I thought they
Hey,
did.
Scott.
Scott Turner, what's up, man?
Yep, there he is.
Oh,
On Twitch.
did show up. Fuck, I didn't see that.
I don't know that Rumble works that way, but the Express should.
Yeah.
There's Elvina. Hey, Mark.
Mark Johnson.
No way.
Idaho Mark, what's up, man?
Hey.
Hey, Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Hello.
And Ken, what's up?
Hey, Dan.
Hello,
What's up, Dan?
murderer.
Thanks for coming in.
Another Facebook user.
That would
Hello.
that would be Kevin Henderson.
Hmm. Hey, Richard.
That was a good one. Yeah, I beat you on that one, man.
What's up, Richard Crush? What's up?
Another Facebook user.
That was me.
Excellent.
Nick 8H.
Oh, that's a good question. Never really used it.
Near Vi, I've never dealt with that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's Scott.
See? Is it? Okay. Counting down the days.
Yeah.
Wow. Making it even more real.
Yeah. Especially for you.
Yeah.
There's Phil always asking about the coffee.
Yeah.
Hello.
There she is. Boy, she's late to the party. Hey, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
Hello, Becky.
Wow.
Hey, Aldemir.
Aldemir, what's up, man?
Hello there.
All caught up.
Awesome.
Well, we did have some technical difficulties. We think we got them all straightened out now.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm ready. I got my outfit all put together now. Just got a new pair of shoes, came yesterday. So I'm good to go. It's nothing extravagant, but I think I look nice.
With your fanny pack.
Yeah. Hey, Corey.
Hey, Corey, what's up, man? Well, while Ken has a good reception, let's get him in here and get the show on the road.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So let's go ahead and bring Ken on in.
Ken, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
That's your intro music, Ken. Wherever you go, that's what plays. So there's a lot of interested people in the chat here. Want to know how's it going with you?
Definitely. That's what I'd like to do tonight. Answer some questions, because I know we've definitely been on the news.
Yeah.
Had an on the ground experience, but luckily mine wasn't as bad as some of the others so far. So, yeah.
Well, that's good.
E-Rock wants to know what time it is over there.
It's 3:15 right now. It's a little bit windy today.
Well, you want to get into our questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right away.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Ken, I like to start the questions off with tell us your favorite toy as a kid. That one toy that you always played with.
I was really big into Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
But I think my earliest toy, because it was dual purpose, was Glowworm. It was a nightlight, but I had an older brother, so it was kind of like a nunchuck, right? Glowworm could be a weapon as well, so he was a lot
I'm not
older.
familiar with that one.
Yeah, Glowworm.
Cool. That's unique. That's original for us. So, I've heard that you were in the Navy. What made you join the Navy? Like, what was your drive to join the Navy?
I had already gone to college, and I was looking at paying back those student loans, and it didn't seem possible.
Yeah.
And so I started talking to the military branches, and I actually talked to all of them. But the Navy made the most sense. I think I made the right choice. Got the same benefits either way, no matter what boots or uniform I would have wore. But I enjoyed it. I was stationed in California, in Lemoore, so I was an F-18 guy. And then I went to Japan, and I was ship's company, so I was working on aircraft carrier, and then helicopters at the very end. But I didn't get a whole lot of experience in them, so don't ask me helicopter questions. Didn't even go on a flight in one. I fixed a few wires. I was an aviation electrician, so that's what I did in there.
Okay. Now, were you an officer?
I was in Japan for the. I was enlisted. I was an AE1, so I was a first class.
Okay.
I was in Japan for the earthquake and tsunami, so
okay.
Kind of got to see some of this kind of stuff years ago, unfortunately.
And I think you mentioned that you did a tour on the Ronald Reagan as well.
Mm-hmm. At the very end, I did those detachments with the Reagan.
Okay.
Yeah, I did all my deployments on the USS Nimitz and George Washington when it was still.
Okay. Because a good friend of mine, he was on the Reagan when they did that, like kind of like tour of the Asian countries. Like it was kind of like a public affairs tour and kind of like providing medical services and stuff like that.
Yeah, they call those RIM packs, Rim of the Pacific. Yeah, and those are a dream if you get them, because you get Thailand, Australia, the Philippines, all the countries where it's cheap to have fun.
Yeah. Any Navy themed tattoos?
Pretty much all this up here. Got my turtle. Shellback.
It's like sometimes like the Navy has like
Nasal Jack. And this is just salt water.
So you don't have like a big ship on your torso.
No. I think.
So I know there's some tattoos tied with the Navy specifically. So I was just curious.
Yeah, the turtle. the turtle and the kangaroo are, but
Okay. What does the turtle mean?
It means you're a shellback. So in the Navy, if you cross the equator, and this is an old tradition. This harkens back. I'm talking like 1700s at
Wow.
least. I used to know. I forgot a lot of it, but basically, is there some hazing and shenanigans? Sure. Is it good natured though? Absolutely. So no one's getting hurt, anything like that. But you know, there's traditions. You know, meeting King Neptune in his court and everything like that, and it's a whole day. It's a whole day.
Yeah.
But once you go through it, then you can. Next time you cross, you can initiate the polywogs into the Royal Order of Shellbacks.
Okay.
Yes, bearded chief. Yes, I was trying to
Get the cherry out of the belly.
somewhat specific without giving away too much, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's the biggest guy too. Big belly.
Well, definitely, I'm sure everyone appreciates your service to our country, you and the bearded chief as well. Definitely, you know, it's a hardship, but it's also
Senior
an
chief,
honor.
wasn't it? Yeah, bearded senior chief.
Yeah. So, before kind of getting into how long you been out of the Navy?
Just under 8 years now.
Okay. All right.
It was Halloween 2015 when I got out. Easy to remember.
Yeah. So prior to kind of like getting into the beer community, what was like your passion? Like, what did you spend a lot of time doing?
Say that again.
Prior to like getting into the beard community and beard products, what was like your passion after the Navy? Like, what did you do a lot of?
That's the thing. Nothing. So I got medically separated from my hip, and I was hurt for a while, and I wasn't in a good place physically or mentally. So when I got out, I had my severance and all that. So I didn't do anything for like a year, unfortunately, and I put on weight. And pretty common thing, actually, you know, for when some people get out after a while, you know, you're kind of aimless. And I don't know what happened one day. I was just sitting there and I was like, yep, I'm getting fat. I don't feel good. I don't feel good about myself. So I was like, you know, I'm going to do something. And I was like, well, I have a bachelor's degree already, so I'm going to use the GI Bill. And I did that, and I got my master's in education. I think it was like 16 months later. And I did it as a backup. But I was like, you know, I'm going to put in for Hawaii because I'm not sure if I'll get what I want in California. And sure enough, I got the offer. So I was like, all right. And I moved out to Maui. I'd been to Hawaii. I've been to Oahu a couple times, and I'd been to the Big Island, but I'd never been to Maui. And so when I showed up here, it was sight unseen, and been here ever since. I've only left the island a couple times since 2018.
Cool. And finally, tell us like what it's been like there for the last 2 weeks. I'm sure it's been a lot of different things, a lot of different emotions, a lot of different things going on. If you can, you know, share what you want to, but
sure. So, I mean, there's some normalcy obviously coming back. You know, I'm talking out here. We have Wi-Fi and power and all that. So it was on the 8th. So, I mean, we're getting closer to 3 weeks. We're getting up there already. But on the 8th, that was the last teacher work day before we were supposed to get students the next day on the 9th. So I'm an early bird. I was in the gym already, so I was in downtown Lahaina. I have 2 closer gyms, but I don't like them. So I'd make the drive and, did my thing, and I come back, I'm in the shower, and I think I was playing a Dan C video on my phone or something. Just like listening in the background. I think it was like somebody's video came out. And luckily, I had that going because the power went out when I was in the shower at like 5 in the morning. So, the phone helped me out a little bit there, but I was thinking, all right, power won't be out that long, so still had cell service. So I'm like, all right, didn't think anything of it. And then they started calling about an hour later, and they're like, there's down power lines by the school. There doesn't seem to be any big concern right now, but since it's right by the entrance, they canceled school, and they're like, yep, see you tomorrow, basically. Like nothing nobody hadn't seen before. There was like just a little brush fire in the field. The fire department's like, no sweat. They stopped growing sugar cane. Not to go too deep and give anyone a history lesson, but Hawaii grew sugar cane for 150 years, and Maui was the last place to stop growing it because it's cheaper to grow at other places. And the only problem is all those fields they used to water and grow sugarcane gets taller than corn if you let it. All these non-native invasive grasses just took over, and they're super flammable. I'm talking like somebody flicks a cigarette, that field's going, and you can see it's windy. This is normal. 20 miles an hour, trade winds, normal. That day, after it got light out, it was already windy because we were catching one of the tail ends of Hurricane Dora, Pacific hurricane. So we weren't getting any rain, but it was really windy, like 40, 45 gusts. So I was like, all right, this is getting a little weird. So just in case, I ran into Lahaina, and I got dog food and a few other things, but stuff was already getting picked over pretty well. And, the power was out, so it was like kind of weird, paid in cash. But then, I drive back, and traffic's really bad. There's some down trees, but still nothing about fire, right? So I got no worries. And then about 3 o'clock, I'm back home, and that's when cell service cut out. So I'm like, all right, we'll see, how long this takes to come back up. I have a lizard on my foot right now. So I keep looking at those little anoles or whatever they're called. Yeah, just ran across me. Anyway, so, cell service went down. So power was down. There's no TV. So you can't get any alerts there. I'm not going to get any alerts on the cell phone. Wi-Fi's dead, all that. So there's no communication. And I'm like, all right, no big deal. My dog's got food. I got a little bit of food. I got some beer. I guess it's a day off. We were like, all right, let's go. Right? No big deal. And then, this, like I was hearing, like by word of mouth, as it got later in the evening, kind of like 7 o'clock. Somebody's like, hey, I heard there's some fires in Lahaina. And I was like, well, I haven't heard anything. Cell service is dead. And then the sun went down, and we started looking to the south, and the whole sky was red. It was like, oh no. But even seeing that, we still weren't like, oh my God, Lahaina's on fire. We thought it was the fields. we thought it was the dry fields, the old sugarcane fields that they haven't repurposed or anything yet. So I was just kind of going to go in for the night. And then one of my coworkers, she came to the door and she had her husband with her and she was freaking out. And I was like, what's going on? And she's like, Lahaina's on fire and I can't get home. So the problem we have is everything hugs the coast, right? So the town isn't wide, it's just really long. And the area that burned like was the heart of the town. It was 80% of Lahaina burned. And she had gone from the south end all the way up here. He works next door at Kapalua Golf Course. That's just on the other. Yeah, you go over behind this building over the gully, and they're hitting. That's the ocean course and all that over there. So she was going to pick them up, and they could not get back home. So she turned around because the fire and they had things blocked off. So they came back up here. And she was worried because she left her dog at home and all that kind of stuff. But still, we thought everything would be fine. And we went to sleep. And the next day, cold showers, still no information. And then we started making breakfast outside. People are using propane and all that kind of stuff to cook. And my one of my neighbor's sons, he made it into Lahaina, and he just went past the barricades because we didn't have any information. We hadn't heard anything, and yeah, he got in. He got some video, and then some other people. One of the firefighters was staying up here because he lost his home. So we got some firsthand information, and that's. So I mean, it was a full day after it really happened. That did 12 hours at least.
Right.
Well, we knew what happened. So everyone on the mainland, everyone on the other islands, people on the other side, 'cause, yeah, we have a mountain in between us, and there's only one winding road kind of connecting Lahaina to the other side. So we were literally cut off and no information, and that was the worst part. And even the warning sirens didn't sound. There's a big scandal with that. The guy didn't ring them because normally when you do that here, people assume tsunami, and he thought that people would start heading Mauka, meaning uphill. But a lot of people were like, well, you might have woke some people up out of bed as well.
Right.
Got surprised by the fire. So he resigned, and I think that was probably a fair choice. There's still a lot of unanswered questions, about the lines, stuff being so dry, water usage, and then you have the Native Hawaiians, some of the indigenous rights, and rebuilding, and it's going to be a pretty hairy situation without trying to sound political or anything like that. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to hash out.
All right. So how long did you go without the electricity? And
it was 5 days.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was 5 days. It was so Tuesday, Saturday when they finally got the power back on.
Okay.
I'm lucky. I have some friends on the other side. A lot of the teachers commute over. It's easier to find housing. It's bigger in the central part of Maui. So she invited us, my son and I, to stay over there. My son's autistic, so he was getting really bored because he couldn't do any of the things he normally does. So it's like, but it was life as usual in central Maui. So we went over there and just stayed for a few days.
Yeah.
But there was a couple questions earlier on.
I gave my apartment to my coworkers I was talking about. Their home did burn, so they stayed in my place a couple days. Unfortunately, their roommate couldn't get home either, so their dog perished in their home along with. Yeah, that's crazy. It was all the pets too. So we don't know if any people died yet. Um, they're still figuring that out. Anything one story has been cleared. They're working on the 2-story and condo type buildings. But I think the number of people missing it keeps changing, but it's still like 850 to 1,000.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Last I saw was 1,000.
But hopefully that shrinks and they find some more of the people in the shelters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jason, you had some questions ready, or?
Yeah, there was a couple questions earlier. One I think was Aldemir was asking, what do you think of FEMA?
All right. Again, I'm not trying to be political. I'm just going to tell you what I saw. So, Aldemir probably knows this as well. Well, he's on Oahu, so they have the military and all that right there. If something ever happened, they have a lot more help close by. But for Big Island, Maui, Kauai, and then even more so for like Molokai, if a hurricane, natural disaster, volcano, blah blah blah, it could be like 72 hours before you can realistically expect help. So you may have to make do, figure some stuff out. And people do that here. Most people have trucks and things like that, so people are like, we'll go fishing, we'll get some food, we'll figure it out.
Right.
But it was honestly locals. We were getting boats from Molokai, which is 7 miles away. They were coming up. There was people coming from the other side and doing a big loop, dropping off bottles of water. The northern way into Lahaina is like, I call it a goat path, but I guess it's a road, but it's mostly one way. It's pretty sketchy. If anyone's been to Maui and you went to Hana, it's kind of like that, but worse. I've only taken it a couple times, and it was by necessity. So, yeah, it was mostly locals. Then we got MEMA, which is Maui Emergency Management Administration, and they were like a little more organized. And then FEMA, it was like 5, 6. It was almost a week before FEMA really. They were on island, but before we really noticed a presence over here. But now there's tons of National Guard freeing up our cops and everything because they're unfortunately you have people trying to get into the burn zone. There was people trying to loot, and then people trying to get like Instagram famous, like live stream tragedies and stuff. So yeah, we had to get the National Guard in. That way the cops are freed up to be cops and stuff like that, so they can keep those guys out.
And then the other question was Mark Johnson. He wanted to know if you had to evacuate or home.
No, it's green. Luckily, where I'm at, about 9-10 miles from downtown Lahaina town. Up here, I'm in the town of Napili, right next to Kapalua Golf Course. So, it's fairly green up here. So we're not. Anytime we've had fires, they haven't made it this far north before. So, yeah, our area actually was taking in people. We had we have a little supermarket type thing. We had people camping in the parking lot, and we have a pretty decent sized park as well. That's where helicopters can land. If they have to medevac people and stuff, it's one of the big open areas, and that's been hosting. There's been some FEMA stuff in there, World Kitchen, and some of those groups are cooking meals for people, which has been pretty nice.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we were the evacuation site, but I did not have to evacuate. After a few days, I gave my apartment up to my friends for a couple days until he was offered a, a place they could lodge long term, and it had kitchenette and bathroom over at the golf course. So he's kind of got like 5-star accommodations right now, actually. Um, so he deserves it. He lost his house, so he deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Makes it worse. Got caught burying. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. As far as that stuff goes, that fire was really hot, guys. Even the very edge of like the harbor, and that's all stonework out there. There's not even fuel. Like within 100 feet was scorched. The winds were 80 miles an hour once nighttime hit. So yeah, once the sun set, that's when the fire really kicked off because the wind shifted. Lahaina's kind of like a bowl, so it swirled around, and there was the vehicles with aluminum wheels. The aluminum was completely melted. I mean, it was just down to the hub sitting on the ground. So
Yeah.
That's why this fire has been so bad. It was literally moving 80 miles an hour. So and it kind of swept around. Like I said, the winds blow. It got on both sides really fast. So some people were diving in the water. First responders were diving in the water, and then they had to stay out there. And the water was not calm. They were getting thrashed for like 4 hours because the high winds were kicking the surf up, and it's rocky, that beach right there. So yeah, it was a family of 4. They made it, but pretty interesting experience treading water for 4 hours and ducking underwater to stay cool, popping up for a breath of hot air.
Jeez.
Yeah, I haven't heard yet. I don't know if it's been told or not, but Tyson asking, how did they start?
Oh, okay. Power lines. Power lines. We had a fire in 2018, the year I got there, and it burned 2,000 acres, but it was the sugarcane fields. Only 3 homes were burnt, but it was, a power line started it. This one happened again. We don't know why. Hawaiian Electric didn't shut off. I mean, they could have cut off the power, like completely, but they didn't. So, I mean, mistakes were made. They're going to have to investigate. I'm not trying to jump to conclusions, but there's talks kind of like, why can't we bury the lines if we keep getting high winds and fires? Why can't we do like what Florida does in some areas where, they put the utilities in the ground so the hurricanes don't keep knocking them down, that kind of thing. So we have to figure that out. But yeah, down power line, and then really dry, hot conditions and 80-mile-an-hour winds. So it was a firestorm, like literally firestorm. There's buildings catching before the flames got there just because the wind and the heat were getting them there. Yeah. So that's the thing. When they talk about the boats, I know they mention it. They're like, yeah, the boats are burning at the harbor. If you're picturing like a dock and all the boats parked along a dock, that's not what it really is. There's a part like that where, okay, the boats are attached. That's how they'd catch fire. Even the boats parked out in the slips, like further out where you have a little more spacing, some of the smaller boats and little catamarans and things like that, those burnt too. It was so hot. That's 150 at least yards offshore, some of them. Those caught and burnt. They're just, and then once one would catch, the wind would throw the sparks and burn the boat next to it. So when they say 80% of the town, they're not kidding. All we have left is the grocery store, um, 3 out of 4 schools survived intact, and the post office. Then everything north of that, you're kind of out of Lahaina. So that's really all that made it. Everything else is gone. It's over 2,000 homes from that. Yep, you're right, Aldemer. We don't know why it happened, but it's Maui County already has lawsuits started, so we'll see what the answers are. Yeah, the mansions and a couple churches were spared, and some people were like, "It's a miracle." I'm like, hey, if you believe that, God bless you. But what a lot of it is those mansions have bigger property. They have more space. The churches, one of them has a graveyard, so they're a little further, and they're stone. Some of them. For some reason, they love building with tin roofs and wood. In Hawaii, they really do. Even though we have termites, they just build everything out of wood. So all the other buildings, and what a lot of people have is they call them ohanas, um, but like a little one bedroom type condo, like in a backyard, and they'll rent that out. So you actually have a lot more stuff crammed in than a lot of people realize, and that there's more fuel for the fire, basically. But some of the guys with mansions, they have big yards. They lost some palm trees, but they got lucky. So
Yeah.
can't hate them being rich, and I'm glad they have their house. But yeah,
So yeah, I heard the oldest. Yeah, I heard the oldest building on Maui burned down. Like it was like 1800s.
That was 1834. That was the Baldwin home. That was built by the missionaries, and that was the missionaries. I mean, they taught King Kamehameha III. They taught him how to read as a child and all that. They helped him write the first Constitution. Lahaina used to be the capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom for a long time. We were a center of whaling. A lot of people know Maui has humpback whales that are here half the year. They're gone right now, but when whaling was a thing in the 1800s, I mean, this is where people would come to go. They'd get some of the local ones, but they'd go up north and they come back here because the weather's nice. So this was definitely a center for everything. We were worried about the school. Lahaina Luna High School's the oldest high school west of the Rocky Mountains. 1831 is when it was started. So yeah, the town lost about 99% of its physical history, unfortunately. Wow. So that's something else. I'm a history teacher. I teach history of the Hawaiian Kingdom. So for me, that was kind of an added kick in the ribs, because I used to tell the kids, oh yeah, down on Front Street, you have Baldwin House, which is right across from the banyan tree. That's that big, gigantic tree, which I believe they can bring back. And we had the stuff right there physically, and
yeah,
I know not all of it will come back, but I'm hoping a lot of it will. Okay.
What is this that we're looking at?
So this is the harbor, and okay.
There we
So
go.
this is the harbor. This is from the lanai, the balcony of the courthouse museum. It was the big building right behind the banyan tree. So this is the backside of that. So from when I took this picture, the banyan tree would be behind me through the building. You have some cannons out there. So this is the harbor, and you can see some boats further out, and there are some more to the right of the shot. All of this got burned, all of it. That fire jumped all the way out to those boats further out at the break wall. The very edge of that concrete was burned. The flag was burned. Everything. And there's not a whole lot of fuel right there, and everything's green. So that's why I wanted to put that in there. That fire was so hot, it burned across asphalt, concrete. Just the air itself was catching stuff on fire.
Wow.
So that's kind of the historic heart of Lahaina. From the courthouse to the left would be King Kamehameha III Elementary, which is no longer there. And I believe the next picture is the banyan tree. So I think we'll get some views of that. Oh, that's Napili. That's my beach. Now this is the banyan tree. And this thing was 150 years old. It takes up a whole city block. Everyone likes to take pictures during Christmas. That's where the Christmas lights go up. It's pretty neat, but the best thing was Lahaina gets hot. So that was the best shade tree in the world. So it's the biggest one on Maui too. So it really became a symbol of the town. So they're trying to bring it back, and I think they're going to succeed. I think it's alive.
Wow.
It has 26 trunks, so if one of them made it, it'll be good. So we have a 1 out of 26 chance at least.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go back here. You said this was your beach?
This is my beach. So if I go down, I'll go a couple minutes walking away from the tourists. But yeah, this is my little chill spot for sunsets. So it's pretty green up here. That's why I like Napili. That's why I actually didn't live in Lahaina town, because it's a little quieter up here.
Right.
So
you've filmed some IG lives from there, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. And across from the harbor was that Molokai?
Let me see the picture again. That's Pioneer Inn right there. From right there, that should be Lanai.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that Larry Ellison, the billionaire, owns like all but 2% of.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he owns Oracle, like Oracle Arena, all that stuff. Yeah, so he has so much money. Yeah, this is Pioneer Inn. That was built in 1901. It's in that old school Hawaiian plantation style. Real neat, good breakfasts, all that. Tourists loved it, had shops in it, but unfortunately we lost that as well. So that was one of my favorite buildings right there.
Wow. So I found this. This was your chickens, I take it?
Yeah. Yeah, let's see here. They're all full grown right now, pretty much. See if any of them are creeping up behind me. We have about 20, maybe 25 chickens running around the apartments at this point.
So
go ahead.
That's one thing I noticed. So I was stationed on Oahu in the 90s and late 90s. And I hadn't been back there until this past summer. And this past summer on Oahu, there's chickens everywhere. Like there's
Everywhere.
chickens everywhere. I'm like, what happened here?
Yeah.
They try to get rid of the cats, or
Yeah, a lot of places are trying to get rid of the cats, to help the native birds, some of the native Hawaiian birds, but the chickens, they benefit as well. So
yeah.
we used to have one chicken here a couple of years ago. Then a rooster showed up, birds and bees, and we had like
Yeah.
6 hens. And I don't know I think it was the same rooster. So, I mean,
Stud.
anyway.
He was busy.
Now we have like two dozen chickens, and we have about 5 new roosters, but they're like teenagers, so they try to crow and their voice cracks. Like, I'm not even like, it's hilarious. They'll probably disappear once they start crowing, because people from the islands, we take care of roosters when they get annoying.
Yeah.
We get barbecues.
So is there anything that protects the chickens, these loose chickens all over the place? Is there like any laws, and that's why they keep growing?
I mean, the animal cruelty laws, but for the most part,
Or
these
you just go down the street and pick a chicken for dinner?
Yeah, pretty much you can do that. Yeah, like I said, we have about 25 here, and once some of those roosters grow up, they're fighting and being obnoxious. I mean, they roost in the tree, so they're not too hard to get.
Yeah.
And then the next day, you wake up and it's a peaceful morning, and there's just nothing but hens. So, I don't know what to say. I don't know who does it.
Yeah, it was not that way 20 years ago.
Yeah, they're everywhere, but I actually like them.
Yeah,
they're pretty chill birds, and if you feed them, they'll come sit on your foot, and they won't like try to attack you and stuff like that. They'll let you pass. They're pretty neat. I saved a baby chick a few weeks ago because it got abandoned, and hatched it out. When it was big enough, I gave it to its mom. She actually took it, which I was kind of surprised, but yeah, it didn't imprint on me because it was the smallest one, and now when I see it, it wants nothing to do with me, and I'm like, I guess that's good. So it's wild, but I miss it. Let's see here.
So there's the glow.
Yeah, so that was probably a little bit after 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30. My coworker had already showed up, all distraught, and that's from the other side of the building ahead of me, from the grass lot looking south. That's Lahaina on fire right there. That's from 10 miles away too.
Wow.
They hate those chickens here in Oahu. I've heard they're the worst on Kauai though, Aldemir. I haven't been, but I heard they're everywhere. So yeah, that's Lahaina burning. We didn't think it was that bad, even when we were watching it. I was like, oh, it's probably sugarcane fields, Calm down, everybody.
Right.
No, I was wrong. 100% wrong. It was way worse than I could have imagined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 4 days after it was Friday. When I went to the other side, and at that point I'd gotten cell phone signal and like 1 bar, I went on top of a hill and I got signal from Molokai, one of the neighboring islands. I knew it was bad, but then when I drove through it, they had cleared a path to get to the other side. They let Lahaina residents in and out. No tourists, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even after preparing myself for it, and like I said, I was in Japan for the earthquake and tsunami, so I seen some of that. This was worse. Not only was it personal, friends and family and some of my students and that I don't even know about, that kind of thing.
Right.
But just that level of destruction of that beautiful town. That's why I didn't put any of those pictures in. You guys have already seen them. You've been seeing those for 3 weeks.
Right.
That town, the banyan tree scorched. Where I took the picture of the harbor, that whole building got burned out. It was a museum too. It's physically gone, but that town has really deep roots. That's where the kings lived since ancient times, since the Native Hawaiian times, since Europeans, Americans showed up. That's always been a seat of power, without getting. I'm not trying to be cheesy or anything, but the Hawaiians always said it was a place, great power, great mana, spiritual power.
Right.
So that's why a lot of people love to live on this side, choose to. So it's gonna be rebuilt. When, I don't know. So I'm just as curious as you guys. Hopefully, the sooner the better. That way, people can get into their homes and get to a new normal. But this is definitely the most messed up experience I've ever witnessed. And like I said, my experience wasn't that bad. My home is fine, but the hometown is gone.
All right. Well, you definitely have an important job, telling that history because it so well, and it's you're definitely needed there to teach the kids, and
I
all
can't
about
wait. Hopefully, we just got word yesterday we might teach out of the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, which is at Kapalua. So that'd be pleasant for me. And since most of the families are staying there, the kids could take the elevator instead of the bus to school.
Yeah.
Skip, because where are they going to go?
Right.
And their parents should be available. So if any of the kids give me any problems, I'll go knock
Send
on
them
their
to the
door. And I hate to break up the steady view here, but you guys were talking chickens. Here we go. Chicken Army.
Oh wow! Look at that.
You got that giant. Oh my god, that bird is huge.
Those are huge.
I don't even know that one.
Yeah,
it's huge.
That's a big one.
Yeah. All right.
In their yard, doing yard work.
That's a taro patch. That's one of the things we do. We get the kids out. We get them ankle deep at least, preferably knee deep in the taro patches, doing some of the native Hawaiian cultural stuff. Sorry, guys, that giant chicken just got like inches from me. Big bird. Got a little nervous. So yeah, that's what's going on there. So that's actually school sponsored, but they love that stuff out there. They get muddy, and then they get to play in the Olawalu Creek afterwards. The water's nice and cold after hot day doing that work. Some of the kids like to do hard work still, believe it or not.
That's good. That's good. Nicholas has a
travel now due to the fire in the town. I don't know if that's really changed. We still have a couple grocery stores that are open. And I usually would get gas on the other side. That's where Costco is. So if I'd shop over there, it's the cheapest gas. So, um, but if people needed things like dialysis, if some of those little things like that, elderly Kapuna care, some of those people have to go all the way to the other side now, and that's a 35-40 minute trip. Uh, there's just no way around it. You have to drive through all these little switchbacks and tunnels and all that kind of stuff, and it's just slow.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, thanks for sharing all that. Not sure if anyone else in the chat has questions for Ken while we're on the topic. Yeah, quite an experience, and definitely looking forward to seeing everything rebuilt, and hopefully the community can get their rebuilt homes, and I hope you get all the assistance you need too.
There's been I saw a lot of people helping people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it just out of the goodness of their hearts. They knew it was the right thing to do. During the hurricanes down south, you have the Cajun Navy, all the guys with boats. We had the Hawaiian version of that going on here. So that was really good to see. From what I can see into Lahaina, because they do have it blocked off. Like even I can't go to like where Banyan Tree is or any of that. So I see the same stuff you guys do. I don't have any better viewpoint really. But what I can see from here, from the hill, like driving to the other side, there's utility workers. There's probably 15 trucks I saw working at the same time. So
yeah,
help is there. I don't know how long it'll take, but I think physically they could rebuild most of the town probably faster than a lot of people would guess. But there's a lot to it, and there's going to be a lot more hurdles and unseen things and politics and all the other things that go into the mix. But we'll figure it out when we get there, I guess. I don't control it, so I can't stress about it.
Yeah.
One thing I was kind of disappointed in was because I had asked you, what's a good organization to donate to. In IG, like Instagram, they have like these donate buttons. I could not find anything for this relief. The closest thing I could find was like Maui whales, like you could donate to them, but like there was nothing on IG for this.
Really anything. Maui Humane Society. Seen, but they might have changed their page a bit. But
well, the one you told me had like you go to their webpage, it has a whole list of different organizations that they support, and you can donate
any of those.
Yeah.
So definitely check out Maui Nui Strong.
Yeah.
The thing about them, if you do donate anything, you can be assured your money's going to something good. It's not one of the charities that 70% of the donations pay for other stuff and 30% get to where they're going. They've done a good job. Any charity that they have listed, those are the ones that are, I think it's 90-10, something like that. Most of the pretty much the majority of your dollar is going exactly where it's supposed to go, and they only take what they absolutely got to. Yes.
So Mel has a question. What would you say is the greatest blessing to come out of this horrible devastation that you've heard or witnessed?
Oh man. I don't know if there's a single one. There is a lot of for all the bad things that happened. Um, 3 of the 4 schools weren't touched by the fire, so that was kind of a blessing. So the kids will still have that. Um, I think anything that wasn't really destroyed by the fire, honestly, was a great blessing. And myself, my family, my son, my dogs are fine. No one I know personally yet, but there still is missing. No one that I was like personally close to um, is is confirmed or anything like that. But um, that could still change. So that's a blessing because it affects everyone differently. So I feel blessed that I haven't been as affected as some others. You know, there's been some
Right.
families that definitely lost not only their possessions, but they lost family members and things like that too. So I'm blessed that my experience was not theirs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can see that. There's a candle company in Wisconsin that's donating 100% proceeds to the Maui, and they've raised 30,000 so far. Like,
Door County Candle. I'm gonna look at that on IG, and when I
yeah,
get the chance, and I'll push that after I check it out. Thank you, Mel. But I'm sure you guys saw a bunch of crazy stuff. But people are getting help. Oprah's been out here. If you guys weren't aware, Oprah's a Maui
oh,
resident. Yeah, she's pretty much like the largest individual landowner. She pledged some money, and she showed up with her camera crew, and they kicked her out of the shelter. She didn't have permission, and people didn't want to be on TV during a disaster. But
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know, Hollywood, they got to get publicity or something. But no, she's been given some money, and Jeff Bezos owns property here. He's donating, and there's a bunch of celebrities that live on the island, and a lot of them have kicked in money so far.
yeah.
So um, that helps.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're doing
definitely.
something. Yeah.
That's good. Nicholas wants to know how you're doing.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I said, my place is here. My little. This isn't even a town. Napili is more like a small community. It's like a couple streets. Um, you know, just a couple shops. But I had that before, and that's still here. So I'm good. It's sad. You know, you try not to think about it. You know, up here, it's a beautiful day. Nothing's burnt. Everything's fine. But then
Yeah.
you know, you see one of your friends, and you know they're staying at the Ritz because their place burned down and that kind of stuff, and you're like, so you get reminded about it. So it's just
Yeah.
you kind of walk in a razor's edge there. You're trying to balance, trying to be positive and not think about it, but then you're
Right.
forced to think about it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Need resilience in times like these, you know.
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in other news, if you haven't heard, Jason's pretty much dogless now, right? You got rid of your dog.
Well, Franklin goes to his home on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
They were on vacation. They'll be
Aren't you
back.
keeping one?
Yeah, and we're keeping one, Gus. Yeah. So I don't know how it's going to be. I mean, those two are always, well, I say they're fighting. They're always going at each other. I don't know if Gus is going to be sad or if he's going to be happy that he finally gets rid of the little pain in the ass. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I bet he'll miss him.
yeah. But they're, Maybelle, she went a couple weeks ago, and Franklin, but they're local. So, and they both said, you can come visit them anytime. And I said, we'll give them, a couple months, let them get adjusted and whatnot. We just don't want to show up and then be like, oh, okay, we're going home now,
Right.
Now you
Yeah.
are home, so. But yeah, the other couple, they sent me a picture of Maybelle already. I posted it up there where she was on a lap already, so she's adjusting well. But yeah, so kind of, and them two puppies eat a shitload of food too. I'll be glad when he's gone. 'Cause, I mean, the food we're buying them isn't the cheap stuff. I wanted to go with the little cheaper stuff. And, no, I want to feed them this. I said, okay. It's all going crazy lately, but that stuff's.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a 30-pound bag. It's $100.
Wow.
Yeah, we just bought our fourth bag. I'm like, Jesus. But yeah, so he'll be going to his home on Sunday. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. Already planning a birthday party next year for the three of them to get together. But yeah.
Ken, are you getting attacked?
I am just surrounded by chickens and got junior roosters over here fighting in the background, and they keep coming up behind me because they think my empties are food. Because I ain't gonna lie, I feed them. So kind of a chicken whisperer. They like me. That one over there. That's the one I saved her baby. So she kind of owes me a little bit.
You're a chick magnet.
I just think they're cool birds. Because I'm from the mainland. I didn't grow up here. The only time I'd see chickens is like in farms, and then here they're like a blue jay or like a robin. They're just everywhere. So you're just like, all right, cool, chicken. You lay your eggs on the ground, so they're easy to find for me to eat. Yeah, we get free eggs and stuff like that too.
Yeah. You grew up in Massachusetts?
I'm originally from Massachusetts. I haven't lived there in a long time. You can probably tell I don't sound, I don't get my cockies and that kind of stuff. A lot of my family members still have it, but my father was in the railroad, so I moved around a lot between there and New York. I lived in Buffalo.
Okay.
High school and college, I was in Indiana. So that's for my formative years. I was in Indiana, and then after college, I went in the Navy, and that took me the other side of the country, Japan, and then when I got out, after I got my myself back together, upstate New York. Yeah, I was Poughkeepsie area. I started teaching, and then that brought me out here. So I've been out here in Lahaina side since 2018. So it's been home.
Mm-hmm.
How long is my beard right now? About 5 inches. I can just barely palm a basketball. So about 5 inches. I was getting a fork really bad, so I said enough. Now I'm using way less product, so company owners may not like that, but can you hear those chickens?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
yeah. They sound like they're right underneath you.
All right. They basically are. I don't know how I'm not getting pecked.
That's why Autumn said he says he kept looking for his chickens and there it's coming. It was yours.
Appreciate you, Vato. Yep. Got the Bay Area in today. Got the Florida Blanca.
Oh, okay.
That's
Cool.
man. That company. Yeah. To talk about something other than town burning down. No.
Yeah,
That's been a company I'm glad I found recently. They're really growing on me. That stuff works great. A lot of darker scents for the most part too. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and whipped butter. Oh my god, it's like going extinct, but he still got it. And yeah, I love that. Yeah, Bay Area.
Yeah, even when I got it, I thought it'd be all melted and stuff coming from Florida, and it was actually pretty decent shape.
I didn't know it was whipped butter when I ordered it. I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, "Ooh, this sounds good." I ordered it. And when it came, I opened it up and I was like, "What the?" Okay, all right, because it was the middle of summer, so it went from Florida to Hawaii, and I don't know how he does it. Maybe it's those containers or something, but
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that stuff stayed good.
Are there any beard companies in Hawaii?
Not that I'm aware of. I've looked up a little bit, and I think somebody did a couple startups like 808 Beard Care or something like that. Because I was curious, if there was somebody from the island. So I think there might be, but if they are, they're just starting out, like Etsy type thing.
Yeah.
No real website, just like links, that kind of thing. But no, and I don't think it would probably be a good idea either. You'd have to charge more for the same product out here. Shipping's more on everything.
Yeah.
It would just, it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But we do got good stuff for beard oil. We got like kukui nut and other things that grow out here. The Hawaiians used to use it in their hair, and I know some I think Honest Amish uses it, and I think Mythical might use it too as well. It's good stuff. Beard Baron. I don't know, Diablo, to be honest with you. Like, I know who Beard Baron is. I know he was like a reviewer who started a company, but I think he was before my time. I grew this out in COVID. I always had like a little stubble beard or a goatee, that kind of thing. And when COVID started, I was like, all right, here we go. I'm just going to grow a beard until this is over. And well, I ended up with a yeard, and I had, like, I have pretty fast growth. I had like 10 inches, and I was like, all right, I'm keeping this. So yeah, since March 2020, but yeah, I think he was already done then. Top 3 or 5 beard oils. I don't think I could do individual fragrances, but I have a ton of stuff from the Bearded Mac. They were the first company, small batch company that I found, and old blend, new beard, or new blend, doesn't matter. I love them. So they're probably number one. Their butter, their wash, all that stuff. Everything they put out's fantastic. So yeah, Mac does like no wrong pretty much. Copper Johns is way up there too. Going a little bit thicker. That's like my thick oil, the gray line. Elite Grooming's way up there too. I love their Emu line. Just yeah, that's money right there. Define's way up there for me as well, and probably Bay Area as well, be in the top 5. But I feel like I'm leaving out like Grindstone and Weatherbeard and stuff like that. Captain Stash.
It's hard.
I wear about a dozen companies, but I think the top those 5 I named are probably the ones I have the most stuff from. So
yeah,
that's kind of how I broke it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elite is the cologne master, as Vato said. I like my colognes, and Hustle has a scent that matches. Like, you like Creed Aventus, he got it. You like Bois de Portugal, he got it. You like Paco Rabanne, he's got it. His list is like 25 cents long. Even the ones I can't pronounce, like Mason Kirk John or whatever that is. He's got that too. He's got them all. That one starts to fork. I don't know, Vato. Mine starts about like 6 inches, 7 inches. It starts, one side starts trying to curl, and it just gets annoying. So right about 5, it just sits pretty straight. I don't have to do much to it. So I think this is my magic number.
That's all right. It looks great.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, so how was that Copper John experience at the barbershop there?
All right. I'm not saying this to kiss up to Tyson or Casey or anybody. No, it was awesome.
Yeah, I imagine it would be.
I love old school barbershops. And that's what you get when you go in. You get the leather chair. You're comfortable the whole time.
Yeah.
Right. They're not trying to rush you in and out of the door. It's
place looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's what's the ambiance of it? That's what I was.
Yeah.
I was just getting lost there. It just has that old school barbershop ambiance, and all the products you like, they're right there too. You like the new barbershop, it's there, and it was kind of nice. All the stuff I've been wanting to try without getting a sample or everything, so I got to sniff everything he had right there, which was pretty neat. Even the one that smelled like fresh cut grass.
Yeah.
That one, but everything else I love.
And you got the nose treatment there too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Tyson said he's going to release that one pretty soon. I do recommend that. It's not fun, but it's worse if you go for like the one hair. If you just get them all at once, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. You're just like, all right, let's go. So,
yeah, I've got that Japanese home kit that I use here maybe a couple times a year.
Oh.
I
remember
it's a lot better than just plucking one.
Yeah. I remember the video, and you didn't have the mustache sticker to cover your mustache with too.
Yeah.
I'm worried about using that because when Dan still had the mare on, I think he waxed part of the top of his mustache.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I mean, like a 1/4 inch or something, or maybe not that bad, but like a considerable amount. He was well outside the nose, and it sounded like a battle wound. So I was like, I don't know if I'll do it myself.
Yeah, you definitely want to have that mustache thing up there. It worked pretty well for me. When Ken Sconson was over here visiting, when he dropped off some cookies we won, he saw the kit sitting on the shelf. He's like, we'll have to do a video doing that together. So who knows? Dogs see the chickens.
We have like 25 dogs that live in the apartment, so once one gets going,
they
get a chorus going. But it's my neighbors right now. There's mine. Okay, now mine are getting into it. Yeah, I'd bring her out here, but she'd be knocking everything over. My bulldog, Kona pig. She's big love sponge, like every bulldog. But she has to put her body weight on anything she sees. So
Yep.
your knees get buckled, chairs get knocked over. You can put nothing on the floor. The usual.
Does Maui have a lot of wild boar? Like Oahu does?
Yeah. I've never seen one living. I've never seen
Okay.
one like crossing the road. I've never seen an eye shine in a field that I knew was a pig, at least.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple that somebody hit on the road, but they're not big. They're like the size of like a bulldog. The pigs out here. They're not like the big pink pigs you got, farm pigs.
No, yeah.
They're black. They're Polynesian pigs, island pigs. So maybe like potbelly pig size, kind of. But they're fast, I guess. But I guess they're elusive. I've never seen them. They hunt them with dogs. So they get like pit bulls and catahulas and all that, and they hunt them out here. Some of them go crazy. They hunt them with spears and stuff. What I see is deer. We have a bunch of axis, A-X-I-S, if you can't understand what I'm saying. Axis deer, spotted, and they have horns 24/7, but they're kind of like velvety, and they're like a third size whitetail, and those are around here. They're good eating, but I see those all the time if you go up country, that kind of stuff, up the mountain. But on the west side, I've never seen a pig or a deer. I've only seen them on the other side. They're here, but they're good at hiding. Best tasting.
Centipedes, though.
Centipedes, I've seen a few, but I have no worries about them because all the chickens we have here, a centipede to a chicken is like you eating red
That's why they
vines.
released the chickens, was to get rid of those centipedes.
We get no
huge.
Yeah, no, the chickens. If you've been to Hawaii, like people are like, oh, Hawaii's so great. Then you get here and you see the cockroach fly past your face, and everyone freaks out. Like
all the cockroaches,
yeah, the B-52s. There's all sorts of crazy bugs out here, and they're everywhere. You have like the different roaches, and you have the ones that are always in the grass and stuff. Like, nah, not when you got 25 chickens walking around. Like, even the lizards are scared for their lives. Chickens are eating machines. Yep. We have those. There's good places to hunt, though. Believe it or not, if you really want to hunt, you go to the Big Island. Because the Big Island has the different, 5 different mountain peaks and all that stuff. So they've introduced animals. They have deer. They have pig. They have bighorn sheep, mouflon sheep, all sorts of stuff like that.
Should bring some buffaloes.
Are there any volcanoes near you?
Active? No. I mean, every mountain here is a volcano, right? But the mountain for West Maui, that's extinct. Now, the other side, the big side of Maui, that's Haleakala. That's not extinct. It's dormant, but it went off like 200 years ago. So, I mean, however you want to judge that, that's kind of active to me. 200 years in volcano time isn't nothing. Now on the Big Island, was it Mauna Loa went off recently, and Kilauea, that's all it ever does. It's been going off for like 40 years.
Right.
But, damn chickens. So yeah, over here on Maui, I mean, that's the last thing we need would be for the volcano to erupt, but it won't hit Lahaina at least. I mean, but no, Big Island, they're the ones that have to deal with the lava.
Yeah.
Yeah, no other island though. As you get away, Oahu, Kauai, all that's extinct. Those islands are older.
Yeah, Aldemir, I have that same question here in Wyoming. Is when? When is Yellowstone going to erupt?
I don't know. I was just there this summer.
Yeah.
In Yellowstone, first time. Always wanted to, and I heard all the spiel from the park rangers, and somebody asked if it was. Oh, they keep saying it's overdue, and the park rangers like it's not overdue. They're saying it could erupt, but it's not overdue, and I'm like, I guess that's comforting.
How can you tell? Like,
you can look at it however you want.
I think it's impossible to predict. Like, there's no way you can figure it out. I mean,
I just don't want to be near it. I think I'll stay in Lahaina when that thing goes off. I think Lahaina will be safer when that thing finally erupts.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, for centuries, people have been trying to find the answer to that question, and I don't think anybody's ever answered it.
Yeah, but they predict, though, if it does go off, like, I think the only states that are safe are, like, Texas, Louisiana, Florida. Like, they're okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're okay up here.
No.
Well, hopefully it doesn't go off anytime
20 minutes
soon.
after me.
Because that's probably the most beautiful place I'd ever seen. So hopefully it doesn't blow up anytime soon. Because I recommend checking it out. It's you obviously you've been there, but anyone who hasn't,
yeah, the three of us were there together. Scott, Jason, and I. We got to visit the Tetons and then Yellowstone. The Tetons are my favorite. I mean,
yeah.
But
the Tetons, I think the animals are more up close.
Yeah.
Because you have that mountain range, and it just feels like open fields passing the Tetons. There's a lot of elk and stuff down there too. I didn't see a single bear though. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
But I had my son with me, so I couldn't do a lot of off-trail hiking and that kind of stuff to go looking for them.
You don't want to do that up there.
Well, I mean, I do and I don't.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe with some
Did you
bears.
see any bison?
Tons of bison. They're not too hard to find.
No.
There's lots of elk are everywhere. I did see a single wolf. And I saw a moose as well. I didn't see any of the pronghorn. Most people never do. They're pretty elusive.
The pronghorns are very populated on my end.
That's what I heard. Like the east side of the park, out of the normal area of the park, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect to see them, but I was hoping to see one bear. But like going in July, like a 75-degree day for one of those bears is like 120 for us. Like they're just chubby and they're just cooking in the heat. So they chill in the trees. So I didn't think I'd see a whole lot of them, but I figured I'd see one. But so I was kind of disappointed. So now I got to go to Alaska. I got to ensure I see a bear.
There you go.
I was going to say you can come to Wisconsin and see bear.
I've seen black bear, but I've in the wild, all that stuff. But I've never seen grizzly in the wild, and I don't want to get too close to them.
Right.
You can just zigzag. You'll be all right.
I'm taking someone with me that I can outrun. I'm not trying to zigzag. I'll twist my knee or something. Just gonna out sprint them.
Yeah, I've been up in northern Wisconsin and seen bears go from cabin to cabin raiding garbage cans and.
Yeah, New York State, New England, and as you get up into Maine and stuff like that, there's bear everywhere. A lot of black.
Yeah,
but they're kind of like man-sized, like normal man-sized.
Yeah.
I want to say a grizzly because it's like
Oh yeah.
the size of a dump truck with claws.
Well, Ken, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah.
I think I think everyone's asked their questions. But thank you so much for sharing, what you've gone through and kind of like
Yeah.
letting us know what went on,
Yeah, I thank you guys for inviting me on. One thing I do want to say real quick is Maui is open. So if you guys do want to come to Maui, take a vacation, Maui is open. Lahaina, the little tiny town of Lahaina, which is
Right.
like 10 square miles, is closed.
You're right.
So the other 99% is open. Come out here, have a good time. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Like that wouldn't be being disrespectful. Like Lahaina's closed. You can't even really get into it. So check out the rest of the stuff. But yeah, we're gonna be all right. But this is one of those things that's gonna take some time. Progress is gonna take time,
Mhm.
because we're kind of starting over from scratch.
Yeah.
Wiped. But yeah, thank you for having me on. Really glad I got to let you guys kind of know what's going on down here. We're doing all right. We're still trying to figure out who we lost. It's a slow process, but we're rebuilding, and it's a strong community. We're close knit, so it's definitely old school. It's like it used to be. People know their neighbor, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just. I know everybody's glad to hear that you were safe.
Yeah, that meant a lot to me. It was about 3 days before I got signal on my phone. I had to go climb up the hill,
And then your phone blew up.
and it was so many texts. But I was like, damn, what are they seeing? First off, like, kind of freaked me out because I couldn't see the news. Right,
Right.
people were trying to send me pictures, and the data plan wouldn't load it because I had one bar.
Right.
So I'm just like, words only, right? And they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so glad." I'm like, and they're like, "It's Armageddon." I'm like, "Don't use those words." But nah, they weren't kidding though. So yeah, but I was getting the Instagram messages and all that stuff, and that meant a lot. It really did. That I was just thinking, like long friends and family, that kind of thing. But I probably got more hits from Instagram than anywhere else. So
Yeah.
just like, man, guys, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, it really meant a lot.
Well, Scott.
So if I guess nobody else has anything else, so I think we will call it a night. And just once again, thank Ken for coming on and sharing with us. It's been a great stream. And we even got to see chickens running around.
Yeah, it's my chicken army.
It was an interesting stream.
Yeah.
But thanks everyone for joining us, and make sure to catch us next Thursday for another great stream.
Yep.
All right, thank you guys again. Thank you, everybody.